Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime, in the between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with Connie Hodge. What's up, Connie? God bless. Pamela Hamilton. Gotti. What's up? Is that Lexinenho? Lexinenho? That's a tough one right there, man. Charge it to my brain, not my heart. T-Rail, what's up? Black Cherry, peace. Damon Hill. Yes, brother man. Going in, fam. This is going to be a quick live. But y'all know how I do. You know how we do in these type of moments when we lose a member of the family. We congregate and we chop it up. We go down memory lane. If you got any memories you want to share about the famous Amos cookies, come on with it. And that's what we're doing, fam. You know, just paying homage. That's what I like to pay homage. This guy right here. Let me put a pickup of him right quick. Wally Amos. Where is you? Where is you? Where is you? This guy was a pioneer. He was a pioneer in the food industry. Famous Amos, he's most known for the famous Amos cookie brand. And he is the creator. He died at 88 years old. He was the founder of famous Amos cookie brand. His children, Sean and Sarah Amos, confirmed this. He confirmed his death. According to his children, he passed away in his home in Honolulu, Hawaii on Tuesday after suffering from complications from dementia. He became a prominent name in the food world after he turned a $25,000 loan into famous Amos Cookie, the famous Amos Cookies empire. Wally Amos shook up the baked goods game by using a recipe from his aunt, which included real ingredients, no added chemicals or coloring. Whew, that sounds like a century ago. No added chemicals or coloring in a food product sold in America? He initially launched a single flagship store in Los Angeles before growing his brand to include baked products that are widely sold in grocery stores and vending machines. Wally made a point to be a face of the brand, as he often hit the road to promote his delicious sweets. However, he struggled financially with the company's rapid growth and sold his stakes in the business to the Shansby Group in 1988 for a despicable $3 million. He remained a household name, however, and made his way into mainstream media. He even appeared in sitcoms like The Jeffersons, Taxi, and The Office. He was 88 years old. This ain't the whole story. They basically ripped him off. He basically got ripped off. In 1985, the company's revenue dropped from $12 million in 1982 to $10 million, and it lost $300,000. And then came the investor involvement. He brought in investors to keep the company afloat, but became so involved that he lost his equity stake. Then came the sale of the company in 1988. The Stansby Group bought Famous Amos for $3 million. The deal included a clause that forced Amos to give up some rights to his name, and he was sued for trademark infringement when he launched Wally Amos Presents Hazelnut Cookies. He changed the company's name to Uncle No Name, but the company filed for bankruptcy in 1996. In 1999, Keebler bought the rights to Famous Amos and hired Wally to be a paid spokesperson, but the deal didn't last long. Wally Amos later opened Chip and Cookies and still owns a majority stake in Uncle Wally's Muffin Company in Shirley, New York. Hopefully some of that money is still around. I think he made enough money to take a loss and come back and get back to the money. So hopefully his kids were able to, get some of that money back. It's a damn shame that that man started one of the most famous cookie brands that this country knows. And he had to end up selling it for only a measly $3 million. And this is 1988, not 1908. This didn't happen in 1918. This is 1988. $3 million for perhaps what was the most famous brand of cookies at the time. Because what else do you have when it comes to cookies? Oreos, that's it. Oreos being probably the most recognized brand of cookies. But then you got Famous Amos. And Famous Amos was also more, I think, was sold in more places outside of grocery stores. Like they said, it was sold in vending machines. They sold it in the airports. You could find it in grocery stores, like corner stores. And almost any corner store, you can find some Famous Amos cookies to this day. So he founded the brand in 1975. And he became one of the most unlikely success stories in the food industry. And the rise and fall of Wally Amos became one of its most infamous cautionary tales. So, who is Famous Amos, or who was Famous Amos? Wally Amos Jr. was born in Florida in 1936. He moved to New York City's Harlem at the age of 12 to live with his Aunt Della. Wally dropped out of high school but earned his GED while serving in the Air Force. In 1957, he returned to New York and joined the William Morris Agency, where he worked his way up from the mailroom to become the first Black talent agent in the industry. Who did not know that? Wally Amos, the owner or creator of Famous Amos Cookies, was the first Black talent agency in the industry. I would say the first Black talent agency at a major agency, because that was always black talent agencies, agents. There was always other black talent agents in this country. But perhaps at a major talent agency, perhaps he was the first. Wally Amos headed the rock and roll department. There you go. Where he signed Simon and Garfunkel. What? Interesting. He worked with Motown megastars the Supremes, Diana Ross, Sam Cooke, and Dionne Warwick. Damn, he could have had, Sam Cooke could have had his own cookies. Sam Cookie, you know? Sam Cookie. Sam Cookies. I don't know, got to work on that. When a new job opportunity in Los Angeles backfired, Wally Amos grew disillusioned with show business. He began baking cookies using his Aunt Della's recipe. Cookies were a hobby to relieve stress, says his son, Sean Amos, musician and author of Cookies and Milk. Hollywood tastemakers began to take notice. I'd go to meetings with record company or movie people and bring along some cookies, and pretty soon everybody was asking for them, Amos told the New York Times in 1975. That year, Wally Amos launched the first famous Amos store on Los Angeles Sunset Boulevard. This dude was a major player. He wasn't playing like when he went to work at an agency, he went to the biggest agency. He went to William Morris. When he wanted to open a store, he wanted to open a brick and mortar, he opened it on Sunset Boulevard, perhaps the most famous boulevard, a most famous street in all of Hollywood. It was an unlikely place to sell cookies. The east side of Sunset was seedy, Sean says. There were prostitutes. We were across the street from a strip joint. We were held up a couple of times. But a few blocks down was the A&M record loft, where Dad had offices next to Quincy Jones. He saw something. He felt that what he was doing was transcend the neighborhood. Amos was newly divorced, so his time at the shop was his time with his son. I stood on milk crates to ring up customers, Sean says. I worked the front. Dad worked the back. They sold 3 kinds of cookies by the pound: chocolate chip peanut butter, chocolate chip with pecan, and a butterscotch chip with pecan. The famous Amos brand got backing from celebrity investors like Marvin Gaye. What? And Helen Reddy, who gave Amos $25,000 toward his new business. The grand opening was a star-studded gala attended by 1,500 people, though famous Amos was the real star of the brand, appearing on the packaging and merchandise in his signature straw hat and embroidered cotton shirt. Success came swiftly. The famous Amos Cookie Company sold $300,000 worth of cookies its first year and was making $12 million in revenue by 1982. In Wally's own words, he was the face that launched 1,000 chips. So we see how it was founded. And we go to now how the cookie crumbled. Amos struggled to keep up the brand's rapid growth. By 1985, famous Amos reported a $300,000 loss on sales of $10 million. He wasn't a businessman. He was an amazing marketer and had great promotional instincts, but he made a lot of bad decisions, his son says. Amos continued to raise money while diluting his own equity. At one point, he lost his home. In 1985, Amos sold a majority stake to Bass Brothers Enterprises for $1.1 million. He sold it to save it, Sean says. He's always been impulsive. A lot of entrepreneurs are. That same spark that can drive you to take a chance prevents you from listening to others. You think you're infallible. Two sales later, the new owners added a shelf-stable ingredients and repositioned the cookies as an affordable brand, prompting its famous founder to depart. In 1992, President Baking Company bought Famous Amos for $61 million. Look at that, fam. He sold his stake for $3 million, and they turned around and bought it, and he sold his stake in 1988 for $3 million. In 1992, just 5 years later, President Baking Company bought the Famous Amos for $61 million, more than 55 times what Wally Amos sold his controlling stake for just a few years earlier. Wow. So what happened to Wally Amos? That year, Wally Amos launched Wally Amos Presents Hazelnut Cookies. He was promptly sued for trademark infringement and forbidden from using his own name and likeness. He recalled, "I was stupid, plain and simple. I sold the company and didn't realize I had sold my future along with it." Undeterred, he changed the brand's name to Uncle No Name. It filed for bankruptcy in 1996. In 1999, Amos signed a deal with the new owner of Famous Amos, Keebler, to act as a spokesperson. He said yes on the condition that they craft the recipe closer to the original. It was bittersweet, says his son. He was happy to be back in the center of the brand he started, but he also had a hard time accepting the fact that at the end of the day, he was just a paid spokesperson. Amos soon left again, this time for good. He pivoted to muffins with Uncle Wally's Muffin Company and opened a bake shop in Hawaii. Amos wrote multiple books about his experiences, including Man with No Name, Turned Lemons into Lemonade, The Famous Amos Story, The Face That Launched 1,000 Chips, and The Power in You. A tireless advocate for literacy, he was granted a National Literacy Honors Award by President George H.W. Bush. As a high school dropout, education was a big deal to him, Sean says. Ever the entrepreneur, Amos appeared on Shark Tank at the age of 80, pitching the Cookie Kahuna, a business that eventually failed. In 2017, he launched a GoFundMe announcing he was struggling to pay for food, gas, and rent. In 2024, he died at the age of 88 in Hawaii. Yet his legacy as a barrier breaker entrepreneur remains intact. That is a damn shame. All that legacy, all that money, all the people he made rich around him, he had to start a GoFundMe. He had to start a GoFundMe to announce that he was struggling to pay for food, gas, and rent. That is a damn shame. On the bright side, his legacy lives on. Oftentimes when people who are branded, people who are famous, when they die, typically if they there's a resurgence and interest in that person when they die. And usually if you can find a savvy business person, they can put together a plan to oftentimes make that person's estate richer than he ever was in life. They become richer in death than they was in life. And Famous Amos, that brand is still around. So hopefully his son, his daughter, or grandchildren, or somebody who's in his direct bloodline, preferably, but next to that, somebody really, really close who really know the family, who's a friend of the family, not just some damn lawyer or some opportunist, but somebody who has a real connection to the family, can figure out a way to take that brand and rebuild it and make it profitable, make it make sense. And for that money to eventually funnel back to his family and his legacy and his estate. The story cannot end here. That would be a travesty. Rest in peace, Wally Amos. No more talk.